Minecraft has a lot of different features, some used heavily by the player base, some not so much. And today, I'll be showing you 30 of the most underrated Minecraft features that you need to start taking advantage of today. Let's get straight into it. Now, our first item isn't underused per se, but a lot of people just don't know about some of its perks. The boat seems like a pretty simple item at first. You use it to efficiently ride on water, except that there are many hidden uses of the boat that you guys didn't know. First of all, you can use boats to straight up stop fall damage. There are two ways to do this. One, you can ride the boat off a super high height and take literally zero fall damage. Or two, you could be falling already and you can place a boat down and mount it just before you hit the ground. This will also completely cancel out your fall damage. You can even use the boat to glide by falling with it and then getting in and out of it over and over again. This is especially useful for traversing long floating islands in the Nether where the drop just isn't steep enough. Boats can even be leashed, and this can be used to transport villagers by putting them in the boat, leashing the boat, and then just dragging them along. This is a massive time saver compared to just using a workstation block or something like that. But while you might have known about the functionality of boats, you're definitely not using this next item. Powdered snow is looked at by most of the community as just an annoyance that you have to deal with in mountains, but there's so much more to powdered snow than meets the eye. First of all, powdered snow can be used to stop fall damage just like boats if you get it in a bucket. It's also much easier to time the clutch with powdered snow because it actually slows your fall once you place down the block. Powdered snow can also be used as a booby trap of some sort. Using leather boots, you can actually walk on powdered snow yourself, but very few people actually know about that, and very few people actually wear leather boots frequently. So if you don't want people going into a certain structure that you built, you can have powdered snow blocks surrounding the floor just like this, and have some lava or a massive drop under the powdered snow. This will instantly trick any mischievous players who think they can get in into straight up causing their own death. Powdered snow can even be used to climb up walls. Yup, that's right, you will need leather boots, but placing blocks of powdered snow like this can help you climb if you don't have any blocks to do so, or if you don't want to leave a trail of blocks behind when you climb up a wall. Another crazy underrated item, and it's actually egregious how people don't use these, potions. Now, a lot of you will say, nah, Aether, I use some potions, like I use fire resistance and healing, but no, there is so much more to potions just than that. Just to give you some perspective, using a strength 2 potion with a sharpness 5 netherite axe does 13.5 hearts of damage. That is absolutely insane, and strength potions aren't even that hard to get. You just need blaze powder and nether wart. You can also use potions to see during dark with night vision. This is especially useful if you're doing some big project down in a cave, and speed 2 is very useful for traversing around your world. Guys, none of these potions are that hard to make, just start actually using potions today. And when you're going on a big journey in Minecraft, whether that be fighting the Ender Dragon or even just going to the Nether, you usually want to bring some blocks with you. Blocks help you traverse the Minecraft world and reach those difficult to reach areas. Now, to get blocks, many players just start mining out a bunch of dirt or cobblestone, but guys, that is a complete waste of time. What you should be gathering is leaves. Leaves are crazy underrated in Minecraft. You can literally insta-mine them with shears, and they are pretty much everywhere as long as you don't live in a desert. It's very easy to get a lot of them, and it takes much less time than mining out dirt or stone, even if you have enchanted netherite tools. I guess you could include shears along with leaves as well. Shears are crazy efficient at mining and allows you to shear your sheep too. Now, our next feature on this list is actually a mob. This mob was added pretty recently and is almost never used by any player. The Camel was branded by a lot of Minecraft players as just being a useless mob that adds some immersion to the desert, but camels have a lot of uses, and I'm currently using one in my survival world. First of all, camels are really tall. This means when you ride one, most melee mobs actually can't reach you at all. Camels can also straight up walk over fences and walls, making them very convenient if you're just traversing around your base. base. And plus, they also have a crazy long jump, which you can use to clear 6 or even 7 block gaps as long as you time the jump right. So the next time you see a camel in a desert village, make sure to take one of those guys home with you. Our next item is very underused among the community as well, and that is the Flint and Steel. Now, most players only make a Flint and Steel to go to the Nether. I'm guilty of doing this as well, but Flint and Steels are actually crazy useful besides that. First of all, something well known is that they can give you cooked meat. If you set an animal on fire before you kill it, you'll actually get the cooked version of that animal's meat without needing to cook it in a furnace. But another great use of Flint and Steels is for light. If you're ever in a sticky situation where you've run out of torches, you can set fire to something nearby with a Flint and Steel and immediately get a sense of all of your surroundings. This is especially useful in caves, so you can continue mining even when you run out of torches. And one more use of the Flint and Steel is to mitigate the damage from creepers. If you ever come across a creeper and you don't have a shield to block their explosion, or if you want the creeper to blow up in a specific area, you can light them with the Flint and Steel and they will instantly charge up and explode. This makes it so you don't have to worry about them, of course, as long as you're okay with the creeper blowing up in that spot. But maybe even worse for an item to be considered underrated is to be considered a liability. The Curse of Binding enchantment is called Curse for a reason. Once you put on some armor enchanted with this item, you won't be able to take that armor off forever unless you die. Now, in single player, it's quite understandable why this enchantment isn't used, but in multiplayer, you can use this item to troll your friends. It's as simple as this. Put a dispenser right next to your friend's door, have a pressure plate right in front of the door next to the dispenser, put a carved pumpkin enchanted with Curse of Binding in the dispenser, and the next time your friend steps into their house, yeah, they're going to be wearing a pumpkin for the rest of the time that they're alive. The pumpkin will significantly block their vision and they'll never be able to take it off. Honestly, this is a really evil prank though, and I wouldn't recommend doing it in a hardcore server, so just keep that in mind. Speaking of underrated enchantments though, Impaling is a super underrated enchantment in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. In Java, Impaling is kind of stupid. It only works on a few very select aquatic mobs, and there's literally no point in getting it unless you're raiding an ocean monument. But on Bedrock Edition, Impaling is an absolute beast. It will do damage to any mob or player that is just touching water, even during rain. Not a lot of players know this, and this means Impaling is actually one of the most useful weapon enchantments in the game. This next feature is also pretty unknown amongst the community, and that is the Grindstone. Before I knew about the Grindstone, I was wasting so many experience levels when trying to enchant my items. If you guys don't know, the Grindstone not only allows you to disenchant items, it also gives you some experience levels for doing so. This means, let's say you fish a bunch of enchanted items, maybe with an AFK fish farm, you can get free experience just by disenchanting them. I mean, why would you not want that? The Grindstone is also really nice if you get a bad enchantment and don't want to make a completely new weapon to enchant again. But this next item is actually one of the most useful weapons in the game, even though almost nobody uses it. The lava bucket's uses seem pretty shallow at first, just placing lava down. I mean, what's so exciting about that? You can't even clutch with it. Well, the lava bucket can not only be used like the Flint and Steel to make cooked food by setting animals on fire, it can also just be used as a weapon in general. Using lava also doesn't aggravate neutral mobs like piglins, so it's especially useful when dealing with those nasty piglin brutes. Lava buckets can also be used to kill nitwits and useless villagers without other villagers and the iron golem getting mad at you, and the best part about the lava bucket is that it slows down the victim's movement significantly, making them a much easier kill. This next underrated item is also a weapon, and it's actually a traditional weapon as well. The Crossbow is a weapon that is not used by a ton of players. Most players just use a regular bow, but that's a massive mistake. Crossbows with arrows are pretty good already, but you can also load crossbows with fireworks, and crazy powerful fireworks as well. I mean, keep in mind, if you load the crossbow with the most powerful fireworks imaginable, you will be doing 9 hearts of damage in a single hit. That's as much as a sharpness 5 netherite axe crit as a ranged weapon. You can even edit the range of this thing by changing the flight duration of the fireworks. This will make the firework travel longer, albeit make it do slightly less damage, meaning you can straight up turn this little crossbow into a sniper rifle. I mean, just use this thing, it's really good. And while Minecraft hoes aren't really that much of a weapon, they are still super underrated. A lot of people, especially older players, still think think that hoes are useless and they're only good for tilling land. The hoe has a ton of different uses now though. It can be used for mining, it can even mine nether wart blocks super quickly, and these are the same blocks you find in the crimson and warped forests. They are extremely painful to mine by hand, so the hoe is extremely useful here. Hoes also mine skulk very efficiently, and skulk can drop experience for you to collect, meaning the hoe is also essential if you're going on a trip to the deep dark or ancient city. But we've been talking about a lot of different items and tools. What if we look at some underrated structures instead? Well, I think the most underrated structure in the game is definitely the ocean ruin. I see people just pass by these things all the time, but guys, these things can have loot. Sure, maybe it's not the best loot in the world, but it can still be very useful early game. And a lot of people forget the fact that drowned spawn more frequently in these structures than anywhere else. So if you're looking to get a trident or a drown that spawns with a trident, you're much more likely to find one in one of these structures. If you guys did enjoy this video, then please consider dropping a like and a sub, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.